Head coach Nick Nurse is joining us. Thanks for the timing as always, Coach.
Hi, Roman.
If you have a question for Nick Nurse, feel free to raise your hand and we're going to get started here. First question is going to go to Doug Smith from the Toronto Star.
Hey, Nick, congratulations on the series win and the game win. Obviously, there'll be some uncertainty now for a couple of days on Kyle. How important is it to get this out of the way and get maybe 2 or 3 days off for the 6 guys who are your rotation now?
Well, we certainly could use a little bit of rest. These games are coming pretty quick. That was probably a fast first round for both teams, really, right? A lot faster than normal. That first round usually goes pretty slow. It's usually the slowest round of the whole thing. So there was some, a lot of games here in the last week. Be good to get everybody a couple of days off their feet and re-energize, and certainly find out what's happening with our leader Kyle. So it's important.
Were you able to talk to Alex or any of the medical people about Kyle that would give us some kind of update?
It's only thing I do know, Doug, is it's a arch of his foot that they're looking at having MRI'd.
So not the ankle.
Not the ankle.
Thank you.
Yep.
Going to go next to Michael Grange from Sportsnet.
Hey, Nick. You guys went 12-2 without Kyle in the lineup. Obviously, different circumstances, but why would that give you any confidence going into game 1 if, worst case, he may not be available?
Well, Michael, I think that the one thing, you got to do is, you certainly want your best players out there, right, without question, but you don't have much choice. I think that's one thing we've become accustomed to in this league. Not only us, but a lot of teams. But you gotta go out there with who's healthy and available, and you got to think that there's a good chance you can figure out a way to win, and that's what we'll do either way.
And I mean, losing Kyle at any point has never been good for this team, but with the way Fred is playing, and as an example, does it give you a little bit of more comfort knowing that where he is now as opposed to where he might have been in other years in the playoffs?
Well, I think that I won't be very comfortable without Kyle out there, Michael. I would say that he's certainly a big engine for us, but I would say. I think that we play a system or a style where lots of guys are involved, right? And it's not like, we're going to miss all those great things Kyle does if he doesn't play. But somebody else has got to take shots and play defense and play tough and do the things that he does and make up for it. Or we do it by committee. That's probably a better way, right?
It's worked so far. Thank you, Nick. Take care.
Thanks, Michael.
Next, we go to Josh Lewenberg from TSN.
Hey, Nick, congratulations. 39 assists for the team without your starting point guard for most of the game, without Fred for most of the first half. What did you see in terms of the playmaking and the ball handling that you liked from everybody else, and maybe particularly Pascal, who had the 10 assists?
Yeah, Josh, it's about us making the right plays, and I thought we were aggressive. We were certainly in attack mode. It was a real shootout. Right from the start, the pace was, like super fast both ways. There was going to be a lot of scoring. There was going to be a lot of numbers, scoring, assists, etc., and that kind of shootout type atmosphere. But we made a lot of shots, and there was a lot of right plays made to get to those shots, and that's how you rack up assist numbers.
Thanks, Nick. Have a good night.
Thanks, Josh.
Next, we have Eric Koreen from The Athletic.
Hey, Nick. Congratulations on the win. You guys have been to the playoffs 7 straight years. The Celtics have been there 6 straight years. How crazy is it that this is the first time that matchup is happening, given that? And What is your first thought when you think? I know you haven't done the deep dive yet, but what's your first thought when thinking about their team?
Well, I think it is a little surprising that we've never bumped into each other this whole run. That's the first thing. The second thing is I think they're really good. They're super talented. They're deep. They're very well coached. I think they're playing great at the moment. I mean, they put away a very talented Philly team with ease, right? With ease. There was never a doubt really in that series which way it was going. Maybe a little bit in one game, you know, kind of. I think that they handled us really good in the bubble here. So I'm hoping it's a great series, right? Because I know they're really good, and we're going to need to play great to beat them.
On a lighter note, did you talk to Fred about leaving you hanging on that high five there after his three?
Not again. They caught that again. I mean, I did. He did leave me hanging, but he hit me on the shoulder, so I'll take that. I'm sure they didn't. That part didn't make the video. But
Thanks.
the last time I was just saying that we went vertical. I wasn't asking for high fives. I want to clear that up with everybody. All right. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Next, we have Bruce Arthur from the Toronto Star.
Nick, one of the things you talked about yesterday in the Coach of the Year press conference is just how, of the things you were proud of, how this team just plays hard every night, no matter what. And I mean, this isn't the first time you've had a guy go down. This isn't the first time you've played without one of your key 7 players. Given how you've played all year, you talked about how the system works that way, but how much would it hurt you without Kyle, given the practice you've had playing without everybody?
Well, it would hurt us a lot, Bruce. I mean, all I can say is you guys know how big a cog he is to this whole thing. He's our most experienced, toughest leader we got. I don't want to speculate and answer a million questions on whether he's playing or not until we know whether he's playing or not. And we got a few days for that. I would imagine, though, Bruce, it's going to be a hell of an injury to keep him off the floor. I mean, he's gonna, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be a little thing that he's gonna try to figure out. I mean, he played with I don't know how many 14 or 16 straight playoff games last year with a totally messed up left thumb, you know, running through the finals last year. So it's gonna take something pretty serious to keep him out. You guys know how tough he is.
On that subject, how did he talk his way back onto the court after the injury, after the timeout?
Well, he said he was fine. And then he went out there and had to move a little quicker and realized he wasn't fine. You know, a lot of times those injuries get a shot of pain right when they happen, and then it subsides. I think he was hoping it was going to subside, and did not.
Thank you, Nick.
All right, 2 more questions for Coach. First one's going to Stephen Lung from Sportsnet.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the series win. Your team set like a record for bench points scored in the NBA, like 100. I just want to know, like given how well the bench performed tonight, and like how well like Norman and Serge played, like how big is that for you entering the Boston series?
Well, Steven, you know why they were fresh, because I haven't played them at all in the first 3 games, so they were fresh and ready to go. You know, I'm running a pretty short rotation here, as you know, and it's not because I don't, you know, those guys we all know, we've seen them play, from Chris to Rondé to Matt to Terrence. You know, obviously Serge and Norm. I just you know, I say this before the game to the TNT guys. The 7 guys I'm playing are wanting to all play more. So it's just hard to kind of manage it all sometimes. And we love and know our 7. We knew our 8 for sure, right, with Pat, because those guys have all been with us for you know, my tenure. All the other guys are new, and we're still just kind of, I think I tried somebody different every night in this series. I think it was Rondé, then it was Matt, then it was Terrence, and not sure who it was tonight, but they all did a good job tonight. You know, they work hard. It was nice to see them play hard, and have some success.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
You're welcome.
And last question goes to Gary Washburn from the Boston Globe, who's there in person.
Hi, Gary.
Hey, what's up, Nick? Okay, off like surreal to get the coach of the year in the middle of the floor with no one there. But then the Nets players clapped for you too. Like it was like how surreal was that, and interesting that the opposing team gave you a round of applause.
Well, it was a little. I said to Masai, like, it's just me and you. It's kind of weird, but it did seem a bit weird. And I actually asked JQ. I said I thought I received the award yesterday. We're doing a double presentation here, but it was okay. You know, it's everything's a little different here. That's for sure, and that's just another story to tell 20 years from now for all of us.
What can you take from the 4 games against Boston? I mean, you guys are banged up, and you guys played in the second game of the season, and then twice in a week in December. You're banged up for some of those games. What can you take from those, though?
Well, I think we, there is plenty to take. I don't think you can make any judgments on it. I think both teams are playing pretty well. I think both teams play similarly. There's some fight. There's some competitors. There's some scoring. There's certainly some defense, both sides of the ball. I think it's going to be a hell of a series, and only thing we can take from the other ones is, what did we do and how did it work and how were the matchups and things like that, probably. Thanks, good.
All right. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.